There's been nearly 4,000 reports of sextortion in Canada in the last year. Most of those incidents are happening on Instagram and Snapchat. And the data shows that those numbers are continuing to trend upward as more and more Canadians aged 14 to 24 are essentially being blackmailed by strangers they've met online who hold explicit photos or videos of them. And they threaten to send those images to their peers or their loved ones if they don't give them what they want, which is usually money. Now, 90% of the time, those victims are young males. And I actually spoke with a young man who went through this himself.
He sent me a screenshot with over hundreds of friends and family that he was threatening me that if I don't send him more, that he will expose me. My family members were all asleep and I was crying in my room, and at that point I felt very hopeless.
Now, this victim, who we're not identifying, he's not openly gay, and his parents are very religious. So he told me the only place he could really be himself in this way is online. But of course, that means that when this happened, he didn't just stand to be humiliated, he stood to actually lose the people he loves the most if these photos got out.
And so now what are companies doing to stop this kind of sextortion on their platforms?
So Meta, which owns Instagram and Snap, have partnered with different stakeholders to come up with what they call a take it down strategy, which can help to wipe out images from various websites if they do get leaked. Experts say this is a step in the right direction, but they really want to see companies implementing more proactive measures. Companies have started issuing warnings when an account they deem suspicious contacts someone underage. That might be an account that is identified as an adult, messaging many minors in quick succession, for example. But does that go enough? Experts say no. Stephen Sauer has been with CyberTip since its inception 20 years ago. Here's what he says has to happen next.
There's no liability for companies that operate a tool that allows youth to be victimized on that platform. They are not responsible for that in any way. And so I think regulation is kind of the key to this at this point. We've waited far too long for the internet industry to voluntarily take action, and it's just not been enough at this point.
Okay, so speaking of regulation, is the government doing anything about this?
Well, many experts are calling on the government to regulate these apps to ensure that they bring effective preventative measures. One expert has come up with a solution that could be enforced by government, whereby AI language processing could actually detect when a conversation is leading towards sextortion and give the user a warning, much like you might see on an email when it's suspected of phishing, for example. But at the end of the day, they're done waiting for voluntary solutions. They really want to see the government step in and do something about this. Now, the Minister of Justice, Arif Virani, responded to our investigation. He told us in a statement that sextortion is on his radar as he and other ministers continue to consult on regulation that will make the internet safer for Canadians more broadly. But he had no updates as to when we can expect that regulation to come to fruition.